What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Selflish Podcast. I am your host, Luke Wynn, with my lovely co-host,
Dayana Wynn.
How you doing, baby?
Good. How are you, baby?
I'm good. I have to admit, you look better than good. You look really good.
You look really good.
Well, I mean, I'm wearing Selflish, so you know how we do. We rep hard around
definitely.
here.
It's the sweaters.
It's the sweaters.
They make us look real good. Do you want to look real good?
Yeah. You know where to go?
Let us know.
We are selflish.com. Coming soon.
Yep. So as you guys can tell, this is a different design from the ones that we wore last week. Pretty cool, right? This is my favorite one. And then my husband has the neon one, which is really, really,
These
really,
neon
really cool.
colors, they're litty.
They look really, really good. They're fun.
Yeah.
So
there you go with your souls. So there was something I've been meaning to tell you all day, but I want to wait till we got on camera because it's not real unless it's on camera. I wanted to say I love you so much. And I freaking love you, baby. I'm so in love with you. Yes.
Thanks. I love you too.
Thanks?
Thanks.
You don't tell somebody thank you if they say they love you.
Thanks.
That's not how that works. Yeah. Has that ever happened to you before?
I love you.
No, has that ever happened to you? Like just
What?
awkward moments? Probably not. You were the hot
Awkward-
chick. She was a hot person like growing up her whole life.
No, I was not.
I was the one who would give girls like love letters on Valentine's Day who I wasn't dating. Nor would that create me to be in a relationship or not. But you never had a feel like that though?
An awkward moment?
No, just an awkward moment in life. I don't know, like
a trillion.
Like 4 years in a row, I would write these poems stuff like that for these girls for Valentine's Day, and then they would stop talking to me like shortly after that, if not that day.
I think I don't have. I don't know. I just had a trillion of awkward moments though.
I'm talking about as far as like just relationship stuff, like I love you, and then some guy just says thanks. No, that doesn't happen to you.
No, I love
You
you
were
because
the
I
one saying
wouldn't.
thanks your whole life.
No, because I wasn't gonna tell people I love them like you. You're the type who falls in love like in 2 seconds.
I'm a win.
I love you. I don't know, but I love you. What's your name?
I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. I am so in love with you.
Yeah.
Yep. And then guess what? I had to learn to love me. I love me, you guys. You can't see it, but that's what that says. I love me. Show yours off too.
Oh yeah, we got our bracelets on.
I like how you're just relaxed and chilling right now. You're just like, and I'm the one on it, pink and stuff like that. They know who wears the. Look at yourself. They know who wears the pants in this relationship. I'm like, and you're like chilling back, like, yeah, you love me.
No.
So cute.
I
Anyways,
relaxed.
So it's been a pretty long week so far, right? We are Thursday. You guys are gonna see this tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a pretty good week. Anything new that's happened to you this week?
I actually started. The only thing that I had that's new is I started a program. What would you call it? A class. Sorry, called Becoming Mrs. Better Half with Holly Furtick. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. It's Pastor Stephen Furtick. He's a celebrity pastor and he's awesome. And it's really, really, really awesome. It's a whole different just outtake on relationships, on like marriage. It's really, really awesome because usually it's kind of like it helps you to better your marriage. And it's especially for women because usually women are like, oh, my husband needs to change this. I want to see this change, but it just doesn't happen. And it's really interesting because the way that she goes about it is that through these, it's like an 8-week course, which is really, really cool. I mean, then we have homework and everything, which is amazing because it really makes you reflect and do all these different activity, like things at home and putting things to practice at home. But it's like the way that it works is that she says, if you want to change your marriage and you want your husband to change things, then you just got to change you. Don't change your husband, change yourself. And I was like, what? So annoying. But I was like, I'm not sure. I was about to turn it off. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And so far, it's really awesome. It's literally just being, just putting your pride aside It's basically, but I could see how it works. It's really amazing.
What made you hesitant at first?
What made me hesitant?
Yeah, like, oh, let me just turn this off. Like, what in the world?
Because of the fact that it was like, you got to change yourself. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Give me a real. Not that I'm trying to change my husband, because honestly, we have a really awesome relationship, and I love our relationship, but it could always get better. Even there is that I don't think it could get better. But honestly, like, I just wanted to see. I honestly really do want to become like the best wife and be the best wife. I think that's what it is.
I think that's
that I wanted to become the best and want to be the best wife at all times. Why not? And
that makes me happy, because I would hate to be complacent. You know, like I would hate to just be like, oh, this is it.
You know what?
Up,
that's
go to work,
exactly.
come home. Wake up, go to work, come home, and then life doesn't get interesting until we start taking Ellie to like soccer practice and stuff. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that's something that was in the back of my mind. I'm like, why not? Like, it can be so much better. What if it can be so much better? You don't know. Yeah. But the thing that made me hesitant was the fact that, I don't know. So I guess sometimes I just feel like, why do women always have to do the work? You know?
Yeah.
But like, I guess that's the whole point. You got to see things differently and just change yourself and certain things. But it's pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really dope. Yeah. Honestly, though, I think, and that's one thing we're going to talk about later, but, sorry. Oh, gosh. Should have did that while you were talking. Okay. Where were we? Yes, relationships. I think a lot of times an issue in relationships is always feeling like somebody else has to fix themselves, or so they have to, it's always the other person who has to, like, fix themselves, you know? And like you said, I don't know, maybe because of like just your culture or something like that, where you think, why is it always a woman? But it always seems like, for the men, it always seems like it's always a man, at least in my point of view. Like, the man is always the one who needs to change, you know? So I think it's interesting how you say, oh, it's always the woman who needs to change. Clearly, it's always the man and the woman need to change, but, you know, sometimes we get stuck in our pride, I guess.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. It's been great.
That's dope. My week it's been cool. Just working, getting ready for the shoot on tomorrow. Okay, Saturday. Tomorrow. We'll say tomorrow because they're gonna see this on Saturday.
So we've been getting ready for the shoot, but Saturday we have a shoot with our models for our Selflish wear. We're so excited.
Shout out to everyone who's still going to be a part of it. We're really grateful. We're so excited about this. Thank you. Thank you for everybody. We appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, stick with us.
Yep. So as for now, we know that it's 10 o'clock and it's on a Friday, and you guys are ready for us to discuss the good stuff. Are you ready to discuss the good stuff?
I'm ready.
Okay, so one thing that I was thinking about that we can talk about today, actually, before we get into that, we have to do the relationship game.
Oh, that's right. So we saw this it's everywhere, and I think it would just be really fun.
Yeah, tell them how it is, how it goes.
So we're going to be asked a few questions, and then do we close our eyes? We close our eyes, right? Yeah, and then we point at each other.
Yeah, so it's the questions challenge couples edition. So basically, they're gonna ask us a question with our eyes closed, and we're gonna point at whoever that person in the relationship is. I cannot wait to see this back because I told her, I said, I don't know some of these questions about you or me, so we'll figure it out. Though.
Yeah.
She's confident though. She knows. I'm gonna be the one who's
wrong. I think I don't know why you wouldn't know. They're like really easy questions.
I don't know. I was never good at math. Okay, so I'm going to close your eyes. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put it up to the microphone.
This is for couples only.
Hopefully this is
Who's the most fun in the relationship?
Oh, shoot.
Who makes the food in the relationship?
Both of us.
Baby, you're not supposed to
Who's the most talented? Who's the most adventurous in the relationship? Who spends the most money in the relationship? Who's the best kisser? Who smells the best? Who loves the most? Who gives the best massages in the relationship? Last question. Who will be the first to die in the relationship?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Did you just point to yourself?
Yeah.
No, that's horrible. I don't even want to answer that last one.
That was probably not a very cool one. I don't know. Did you
No,
even?
I think that's the
You
one.
didn't even hear it. There's so many.
That's it.
No, that is
Who's
not.
the first to die? And she thinks she is. And I say, you know what? We're going to be in a plane. We're going to be 117. And we're going to be on a private jet. Man, and we're back. Okay. I have to be honest. Faith keeps interrupting our podcast. I don't want to put the blame on her. But she's definitely I don't know. She doesn't want us to do this, but guess what? We're going to do this for the fans, all 14 of you guys. Right, baby?
Yes. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you so much for your guys' support and your patience, even though technically we're just going to edit all this, so it doesn't even matter. You guys would not have even known that she was here unless I said something because my editing skills are so lit. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to get into some serious discussions now. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to stay asleep?
She's ready. She's so ready.
Okay. One thing I wanted to talk about is when I was at work, I realized that as I talk to different people and counsel people at my job, that a huge issue that a lot of them deal with is their pride, and it sucks, but it's they don't realize that a lot of times they have so much pride that it ends up leading them down this rabbit hole that they cannot get out of, and they end up looking crazy, and next thing you know, they're just in a place where they could have avoided had they not had as much pride. So I just want to talk about just pride versus humility right now. In my opinion, pride is what people believe to be their strength. Pride, it means, when they're firm in what they believe and how they feel, and they're not taking anything back. And humility is, in my opinion, humility is when someone is humble enough to, even though they feel a certain kind of way and they believe a certain thing, they're humble enough to lay that aside to get the understanding to the other person, What do you think? How would you define those two? It's kind of weird to define, but...
my definition of pride?
Yeah, when you think of pride and humility, what do you think of?
When I think of pride, I just think of not wanting to be wrong and not wanting to bend.
Yeah.
How would you say that? Just not
perfect.
Just not wanting to be proven wrong, I guess. Yeah. And having to admit that you were wrong. Mm-hmm. That's really hard. And then when I think about humility, I just think about owning up to the fact that you're human. owning up to the fact that you are not always right, that you're not perfect. Yeah, and that you're not the best at whatever. Yeah. Or nor will you have the best answer or something.
That's something that in our relationship, that's something that I had to I had to realize when I was being prideful and when to humble myself. Because just because I couldn't see certain things and because I knew what my intentions were, that didn't necessarily mean I was right. For example, when Ellie was younger and we would be, the way I would treat Ellie, the way I would treat Ellie, you say
getting
he's
pizza.
Just a baby, blah blah blah, and in your head, I was treating him so much different than what I was treating him in my head. But I had to humble myself and realize that you might be right, even though I believe that I'm doing right. There's something that you don't know, that I don't know, that you do know, because you're his mom. Then a couple years later, I realized I was being way too hard on him because he was 2, But I think a lot of times we don't stop and think, okay, let me be humble and just let me believe what they're saying because they might have a point,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we just want to be right so bad that it's we want people to see what we see and understand how we understand, but we never want to understand what they really mean,
Mm-hmm. And I think that's really good. That's literally, I feel like that's the beginning of being humble, is literally seeing the fact and accepting that you might not be right and they might be you might be wrong and they just might be right. Yeah. That took a lot to understand, and I think that's something that I've learned from you, and I've accepted it, and and I really try to practice it in our marriage. I really do. And it hasn't been easy, but I acknowledge it, and I literally tell myself, like, hey, like, he might be right, or try to see his point of view, or just wait, don't fight back immediately, just try to see it, try to listen to him, or don't make a decision right now. Just sit on that, think about it, and see if the possibilities of what he's saying may work out, or he just might be right.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times we're taught that life is black and white, and it's not. There's so much gray and white. It's like, oh, you're either right or you're wrong, black. It's not the case, because a lot of times it's like, sometimes we can both be wrong, sometimes we can both be right,
and sometimes you can just agree to disagree.
But I don't think that that's good, because I think you should be able to understand when someone else is right as well. For example,
I mean, yes, but I'm saying there's.
So I'm saying this. Look, you can tell me, okay, this is the direction to get to the house, to this other house, right? Mm-hmm. And I can say, no, this is the direction. We're both going to end up at the exact same place, So it doesn't matter if I just go ahead and take yours, or first I take right. It's not agreeing to disagree. It's understanding that we're both right, It's not me thinking you're wrong, but I'm going to do it anyways. Or I'm just going to act like I'm, like, I feel like agreeing to disagree is kind of like, it's just like, oh, you're wrong, and I'm just going to see this to watch us fail kind of thing. Or I'm just going to go with the flow, and then once we fail, then we'll go my way.
I think that maybe that can be right when it comes to, like, maybe decision making. But I think maybe, what about opinions? Like, certain opinions, you can agree to disagree. Like, on a certain opinion, like, hey, what do you think about this? Politics, I don't know.
So what do you think? What does agreeing to disagree mean to you?
Agreeing to disagree means that I'm just gonna respect, like, even though we've talked about it, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just don't agree with that person, or agree with this, and then I don't like that, or I don't accept that, or I just don't think like that, and I don't think, because of this and this reason, I don't think it's right, or whatever. And then you go and you say the same thing, and then literally we can't just meet, like, we just can't seem to have the same thoughts about that thing. And then we can just be like, let's just agree to disagree. Okay, that's right. That's fine. You just, I respect whatever you think, and just, I respect you respect whatever. You're not going to sit here and try to prove me wrong, or why I have to change my mind and think like you, and I'm not going to do the same thing. Okay. So
it's like two people coming together
and just
agreeing that they disagree with one another.
Yeah, agreeing that, and just be in peace about it. Yeah, I think that's what it means.
How important do you think that is? And, like, I don't know, I guess that probably was great with friendships and with family, but what do you think in marriage? Do you think that's the same thing? I think in marriage is kind of different, because you have to I think you're gonna have different opinions, but at the same time, like, before you marry somebody, you want to have, like, some fundamental things that you guys kind of agree on, right?
Well, yeah, like you said, some, not all.
What's one thing that you agree on that I don't?
I don't want to discuss politics.
I'm not talking about politics.
You said one thing. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing that we disagree on, or
yeah.
What is your? I don't even know your political views.
I know your political views.
No, you don't. What are my political views?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, she doesn't know. So maybe that's why we haven't had to come to that point of agreeing to disagree, because we just ignore the conversation completely. Which I don't think that's wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping on the agree to disagree thing, but I just think that every time I hear people say, "Let's just agree to disagree," it always has a negative connotation to it. The way you explained it is so reasonable. Everything else is like two people are at a barbershop going off about who's better, Kobe or LeBron. And then, we're just going to agree to disagree. And it never is like a, you know what? Like how you put it, so reasonably and perfect. You think this, I think this. How about we both just think these things and we're cool?
Let's just agree to disagree.
Yeah. It's rarely ever an agreement. It's just like yeah, fine. Like, like, it's just so negative. I'm glad you just explained that to me. I feel stupid, because I've only ever heard that negatively.
Really? And to me, it's always been a positive thing. Agree to disagree. Let's respect each other.
Yeah.
That's and we can still be friends.
One thing that I do is just shut up, because I'm humble enough to stop talking. back to the subject, right? Yeah, so I think that's really cool though. The fact that you see that as being a positive thing, that is definitely showing so much humility because your pride is not telling you to do that. Your pride is telling you to argue your point until they get it. And that so many relationships fail, like whether it be marriages or friendships or families, like
Because of pride.
because of pride.
I've seen it way too many times. It's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks. I think my hope is that we're always at a point in our relationship where we're always choosing to be humble, you know. When we were dating, there were so many times when we'd get into an argument and I would drive off. I would just leave the house and then just drive off. And then I would stop and then come back and be like, you know what? I literally do not want to not talk to you for 2 days. So let's figure this out right now because I'm gonna be upset.
You know what's funny? That I totally remember that those moments. But I remember that we would towards the end we both did that, and then it got to. I remember when the first time it happened, it was so funny, but it was so cute because I wanted the same thing too. Because we were so angry. You're like, you were like, you put the car on reverse because you were about to drop me back off at the house, and you're like, you know what? You're saying right.
For real.
You're saying right here because I know I want to. Even though we're mad at each other, I don't want to not be with you, and I'm like. Yes.
And then that's when we agreed that we'd rather be mad at each other together.
And be together than not be together at all. Because I remember when you would leave, I would just be so upset because we were not together anymore.
And it didn't matter because we're so forgiving.
And we'd get over it. Yes.
We'd get over it so quick. Oh my gosh.
Fun story. But I think that's how we knew.
But so many people don't. A lot of people don't get to that point.
No, honestly, I feel like because of those moments, I was just like, yes, this is great. This is it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
such a blessing for real.
It is. I love you.
Love you too. That's heck of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we'd always get into. I think that's the one thing too. Like most arguments, you're able to get over them. You're able to work through them, but we just stop. Because and it's like and that's why I said we weren't even agreeing to disagree. We were just like, whatever we're arguing about, it doesn't matter. It's small, so let's get back to our routine. Like let's
it's
not
small.
allow that to get in between us and mess up our
Yeah,
relationship.
I feel like that's when you really love. When you really truly are in love with each other, you're like, I still want to be with you. Though I'm so mad at you right now, but who cares?
But
and then that's when you humble yourself, honestly,
but
and you just kind of put your pride aside.
I think a lot of people are in love, but they still can't put their pride aside.
That's true.
Sucks.
That's true.
Because like that's important, and it's like I would definitely suggest anybody who plans on getting married to definitely learn to humble themselves and put their pride aside when it comes.
Honestly,
because you end up. Because if you're super prideful, you'll end up hurting your spouse. If they're the ones who just keep agreeing to disagree and stuff like that, you're gonna be hurting them because then you're gonna give them the silent treatment whenever you act like you get them silent treatment. You go off on them. You argue. You hold your point. You try to prove your point in other ways.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it because marriage is so much better when everybody's happy. It's being upset that somebody else doesn't cure your upsetness or whatever, or doesn't see what's going on, like that's crazy, But I'm no marriage counselor, but I definitely to this day I would rather just you be mad at you right next to you than
me too.
Be mad at you in a different place because I'm humble like that. No, and I just think
I'm just so humble.
It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
It's definitely not.
And I think that's something that I definitely weighed. I will weigh that. Okay, I can be upset. And yet, you know what? There was a bunch of times when I would be upset at you and then leave to prove my point and be so miserable, and I would never, and the longest, since we've known each other,
then we
went without talking to each other 24 hours.
And even then, whenever we'd leave each other, we'd always meet back up later. We'd be I don't know, we would just, an hour later, we wanted to be together again and we'd hang out again. It was annoying. But, our attitudes were annoying, not the fact that we did that. But I heard someone say something today. I was watching. something on YouTube, and I heard someone say something about marriage too, and that their moms would be like, whatever you're mad at or whatever the disagreement is, are you gonna leave him? Are you guys gonna separate, or are you gonna get a divorce for it? Oh, if you're not, then what's the big deal then? Like, stop arguing. Like, is it really that big of a deal to lose like your peace or your happiness over something that's not a big deal?
Yeah.
Then just be happy and get over it.
Exactly. And think about that, voice of reason is so like, a lot of people miss that, you know, because it's just like, in the heat of the moment,
It's hard.
your pride,
Sometimes
how
it's
you feel.
sometimes it's really difficult,
Yeah,
depending on the argument is or the situation.
It just seems like it overwhelms you. Like, oh my gosh, like you get so frustrated. But if you really snap out of it, you realize how small that is in the broader scale of your relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, this like, and when we allow those things to pile up, then it creates this huge explosion to where divorce does come into play. And then, you know, like, then relationships just do get severed, or things just become awkward, or you start looking for satisfaction that other people want. And then you seek to be understood by other people outside your marriage.
And that's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, so.
Very. So don't go there.
Yeah, I don't know if we said this last week or if this was in like the test podcast, but like when we were going through our marriage counseling, like we got into some argument about God knows what. But we were upset, and then we drove up to the marriage counseling, and then, you know, we were doing our thing, having fun, having a ball, and the pastor just looked at us and was like, "Luke, you're gonna be great. You guys are gonna be great.
You guys are gonna be great."
And me and her were laughing because we're just like we mastered the art of like just moving forward, you know, like not dwelling on any
literally
argument.
right before we opened the door and stepped a foot outside, we were just like, I wanted to choke you.
Yeah.
And you probably wanted to choke me.
And we weren't, it's not like we were being fake either. It's like
No.
we were real in how we felt both times. I was mad at her, and I'm still madly in love with her at the same time, you know. So it's like,
Okay,
it's not
let's
like being fake.
yeah.
A lot of times people are like upset and they feel some kind of way about their partner, and they just ignore that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we just deal with it. Okay, yeah, you made me upset right there, but I'm still I ain't going nowhere, you know.
I know. With all this being said, how do you think being selfish can impact your relationship with others?
This is definitely switching up speed, but I think being selfish, it helps. I really believe that if you love yourself, if you love yourself and it's like a genuine, like a positive type of love, not like a self-centered love, it's gonna affect other people around you. Because a lot of times people who hate themselves, they take it out on other people. They project those hurts, they project those pains that they feel onto other people, you know? So I think the opposite, like any bully, like in movies and stuff like that, oh, they're only saying this because they don't like themselves. They don't like where they're at. So they're miserable, so they put misery on you. So the opposite, if I have a loving personality and I love who I am, I'm going to share that same energy on other people. You know, I'm going to project that towards other people. What do you think?
I completely agree. I literally could not have said it better. It's really good.
Yeah, I think it's so simple, but it's just, I don't know. I like we said, like when you just allow things to just be piled up, and you keep ignoring things that you've gone through in your life, and you ignore like hurts and pain and stuff like that, you don't realize that you slowly start to, you know, just feel some kind of way about yourself. Like it may be something small, like when you're a little kid, you make a mistake. Oh, I hate myself for doing that. That sounds small, but eventually you don't realize how those words and how those feelings become greater. And the more mistakes that you make, you know?
Oh yeah, I can definitely relate.
How so?
Just because like kind of like what you said, like you literally grow up, you hear this one thing, and then you're like, yeah, I am like this, or I am this, and then no one has to tell you anymore. You literally start telling. You literally do a great job at telling yourself over and over, and it just becomes a thing throughout the years, and you believe it, and you think it's the reality of it.
Yeah.
And the sad part is that because and it's like a warped reality because it's not real.
Yeah.
It was maybe because of one incident or something, and then all of a sudden you start believing this. You start speaking it till that becomes your reality, and then when you're older or whatever, you start acting like whatever that reality, whatever you think that reality is, and you start acting up on those, like, on whatever it is that you think about yourself.
And it's so subtle. You know, it's like really, really subtle to the point where you're like, to the point where you're like,
No, I'm just scratching my chin.
oh, I was like, you give me a,
No.
I was like, thanks, Becky. No, so it's so subtle that you don't realize that those things that happen when you were a baby, you know, like a child, you can be 30, 40, 50, but those same feelings that you have now, they just become magnified. Mm-hmm. Because if you hated yourself for making an error, if you hated yourself as a 5-year-old for not coloring inside the line, how much worse is it going to be when you're 20 years old and you make a mistake, you know, you do something even bigger, you know, or you're 22 and you get into credit card debt, or you're 24, you get pregnant, all these things, like, because of that mentality of, you know, freely hating yourself for your mistakes, the bigger mistakes that you have later on in life is just going to pile up. So I say, if you love yourself and you plant seeds of love, especially at a young age, regardless of understanding that we're all humans and we're going to make mistakes, when you get older, those seeds of love are still going to be inside you, you know, and then you can share love to other people.
Yep.
Like we say, like, how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm. You gotta be selfish.
You gotta be selfless, for sure. And I think the whole pride thing comes into play with selfless too, because I think some people could look at this and be like, oh, that's this is a prideful movement, but
it's not.
It's not. And I think selfish is a gray area itself. And it's like, there's a certain type of pride that you also want to have, you know? There's like a gray area with pride. There's the extreme where you're just completely prideful and you're not willing to veer off of your own ideals or whatever. But there's also a sense of pride in knowing your worth, you know? Knowing who you are, knowing your position, to where, like, you move in a different way, you know? Because if I believe that I'm less than anybody else, I'm going to move a certain kind of way. Head's going to be down. I'm not going to expect anything greater. But if I move understanding that, first of all, God lives inside of me, like, I have pride in knowing that God is with me. So why should I settle for anything lesser than what he has for me? You know, it's just a different thing. So
yeah, like, kind of like what you said, like, what you said about when I was growing up and stuff, like, I definitely always thought way less about myself. And I literally walked around looking at the floor and hating who I was, hating everything about me, to the point where I felt like I literally did not deserve anything good at all in life. And that really messed up a lot of opportunities, a lot of friendships or relationships that I could have had, or just things, like, even if when it comes to material things, because even if something good came my way, I was just like, I don't deserve it. Like, I'm not good enough. Like, I don't deserve it. For what reason? I don't know. Because I felt like I just hated everything about me, so I'm just not good for anything good to come my way. Yeah.
What helped you get out of that?
Honestly, my relationship with God. I felt like God used people, some people, to show me that I was worth it, and to show me that I didn't have to think like that, and to show me that I didn't have to think of myself as nothing to be humble. It was just kind of, and honestly, you helped me a lot. Like, our relationship helped me a lot.
One thing that you just said that I think is crazy about, like, just being Christian, about that idea of humility and what it really means to be humble, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I have a song that says, I'm just me and I'm awesome, right? And that's, like, not a Christian song that you would have heard, like, 20 years ago, like, when we were growing up. And it's so ironic that we are people who believe that we have Jesus living inside of us. And for people who act like we have God literally inside us and empowering us, we act like we're literally so beneath everybody else.
I know, it's so crazy.
And then it's like if there's a Christian artist or somebody, Beyonce, it doesn't matter who it is, who does excel, and they say, "Oh, thank God." It's like, "Oh, that's the devil. That's the devil empowering them. That's the devil. That's the Illuminati." We take all this power away from God, and we give it. We're so quick to give it to other people, and yet like we act like we are supposed to be like a part of God. And it's like if we have
Or feel
the power of
special.
God-
Oh, you have to feel special because God is in you. But then at the same time, it's like you gotta be known. It's so weird.
It's weird because it's like humility isn't. I don't think humility is okay. I'm completely trash.
Yeah.
God, I need you. I'm trash. It's no. God, I'm nothing without you. But since I got you, like, let's go. You know, like
we're
we can do
amazing.
anything. The Bible
I'm
says
worth. I'm worth so much.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, how come? It's so interesting how like humility in church can be so like so misinterpreted.
Very.
You know, to the
Very.
point where it's like you
And
feel
it
like
can-
you have to have like Jesus. Yeah, he said, you know, like we have treasures in heaven and all that stuff. You know, he came and he was at his low point and he was exalted. But at the same time, we like allow men to literally just beat us up without anything else. Like we can, like the man at the water, he was laying down in the bed. Other people were just going in before him to get healed. And he was just sitting there. And that's how we are. Like we have the
pool.
Yeah, at the pool. Like we literally have the ability to succeed and to excel, but we just literally just sit there thinking, okay, God, this is me because I'm being humble. So God is allowing everybody else to succeed while we're in the same place year after year after year because we're trying to be humble, you know, or humble ourselves before God. But when you humble yourself before God, you submit to his authority and to the direction he has in your life. So if he has something great in store for you, when you humble yourself for God, before God, you're going to be attached to that greatness, you know. You were actually talking to me about something like that earlier today. Just about that fear of, you know, succeeding or fear of, you know, venturing out and doing something greater. And it's like, it seems like a lot of Christians have that fear of, oh, if I go too far up, the world might pull at me. I might get away from God. But it's like, and like if perfect love casts out all fear. And God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So if we're really in God, all those fears and all those ideas that cripple us as a people, you know, those go away. You know.
Yeah.
Any other things about Selfish?
No.
I'm hot. This is a really
It
nice.
is really
this
warm.
is a
These are
really
so
nice hoodie,
warm.
but.
At least you guys know they work.
Mm-hmm.
They do their job and keep you warm.
They're really dope. I can attest to it. If I wear a hoodie next week, you guys are definitely gonna see the sweat on my forehead. Because guess what?
What?
I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. You're gonna love me tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be really cool.
I hope so.
Do you know why I'm getting a haircut?
Yes.
Why?
Oh, do I know why?
Yeah.
No, I don't know why.
Because a photo shoot on Saturday.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess I did know why.
You're like not excited about it. This is about our brand, baby.
I am excited.
Then
But you're
let
talking
me see
about
your
your
love.
hair. You're talking about your hair.
Because I can't be looking crazy at the photo shoot.
Oh, I know.
Whether I'm gonna be in the
actually
pictures
gonna
or
do my
not.
hair on Saturday too.
I'm excited about it.
Yes, you know this whole quarantine thing has us looking a little bit busted, but
Yeah.
or
Like,
just lazy. You just
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care to get ready.
if people were to see us, if people see me at work, like I look like I just gave up.
Yeah,
But I didn't give up.
it's just quarantine.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Are you tired?
Very.
Okay, she's
Okay.
tired, y'all. It's like a 12 take. Because Faithy,
Yes.
she demands a lot. She knows who she is. And she
She's
knows
a
how we better
princess.
be. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in again. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not getting sick. My nose is so stuffy.
I think it's allergies.
Good. It's not the coronavirus for sure. That's respiratory. I'm just talking about my nose is just stuffy for some reason. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Did you have fun today, baby?
I did.
It was great for we almost didn't make it through, but this is episode 2 for you guys. We're doing it for the fans, for the movement,
Yes, we are.
for the people.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let us know if you can DM us or just leave a comment.
Wait, we need more energy, baby.
I'm sorry, I'm just
energy.
or just let us know of anything, any topics, anything you guys want us to talk about. If you guys have any questions, we'd love to hear from you guys.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to give you guys more updates on Selflish next week because June is coming really quick. So we're going to be taking pre-orders starting in June. So we're really excited. Baby, are you excited?
I am so excited. We've been waiting for this for a long, long time,
Yes.
you guys.
Yes.
And I hope that when it does come out, you guys really like the design and everything. They're really, really dope.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to try to do this in a big way, as big as we can, as big as possible. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about everything. And I'm really grateful because we have such an amazing team. Me, my wife, Teeny, Jennifer, Yvette, who hasn't been a part, all the models, your parents, my parents, everybody who's been a part of this whole thing is just, it's really dope. We're so excited about it. And we can't wait to see like random kids wearing Selflish shirts on the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else?
Nope.
'Cause I'm not good at
Have a
ending.
wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend.
Wait,
Rest of your day.
Wait, before we go, I have to play you guys a part of a very important song. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy. I see you through the crack of my eyes.
I'm not. I'm actually looking at you second.
Wait. So we're gonna end it. And I don't have to worry about the other doors. You shouldn't worry either, because I love you. If you're in love, let me hear you say I love you. Energy. I love me. Peace out, y'all.
Ow, my neck.